Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So without further ado, let's start. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. The purpose of this video is to figure out who are you in an alternate universe. So if you believe that there are other dimensions out there in the universe, multiple galaxies, and just for sure somewhere deep down in your heart that there's an alternate universe out there with you in it and you're a completely different person, or maybe even just your alter ego out there, who knows? Let's start. So we have 3 piles here. So we have a grandfather clock, a teapot, and then we have some red shoes. So without further ado, I'm going to count down from 10 and give you 10 seconds to decide between the 3 piles. Don't think about it too much, just go with the first pile that resonated with you from the get-go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you've made your decision, I'm going to go ahead and start with the very first pile, and I'm going to move the other piles out of the way. Okay, so let's start with the grandfather clock pile and see what we have for you guys. So let's see, let's start with perhaps this card here. Red card. So I'm seeing here that you are a bit of a trickster in this other world, this other dimension, galaxy, alternate place out there. The positive attributes that you have: transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. And then your shadow attributes are manipulating others through duplicity. I think I'm getting kind of a magician, or like almost like, yeah, like you do like magic tricks. You kind of travel the road, doing like fun tricks, doing, magic tricks. And then maybe also I'm getting a bit of I'm not getting like a vibe that you're out to get people. I'm more so getting a vibe that maybe you're more like a Robin Hood. If you know the story of Robin Hood, like that kind of trickster here. I mean, look how charming. Okay, so let's look at some other cards to see if we could shed some more insight on this. So we have the crossroads. We have the anchor. And then we have the child. So I'm getting that maybe you, somewhere in this alternate universe, other you had some kind of a life experience where they felt like some kind of experience that turn them into this sort of magician / Robin Hood type character. Maybe I think you had decided, okay, this is the path for me. I'm going to travel around the world, or travel around this alternate world, doing magic tricks and kind of being like entertaining people, basically, kind of returning to sort of like a childish, sort of childlike state where, yeah, I mean, you went around traveling the world, doing magic tricks, being a magician, almost like, if you go back in time, like a minstrel of sorts, but with magic tricks. And then but I'm definitely getting the vibe, it's not like a negative like trickster, like you trick people and then you take things from them. If anything, I'm getting more of a Robin Hood vibe here. Like take from the rich and give to the poor, especially if the rich tend to not deserve what they have. But this isn't an alternate universe. I highly advise doing that in the real world. Yeah, don't do that. But okay, let's see if we can shed some more insight here. So here we have, I regard all alters with respect. So yeah, you're kind of, I think I'm seeing that you're kind of an honorable, like a noble trickster. Very likable. See, look how charming, you know, skilled with the hands, very quick hands. They're clever, like fox-like energy. But I'm seeing that, yeah, you know, even if you're a magician, you're tricky. You know, you like to kind of like be clever like that with other people. I see that you regard everybody equally, regardless of, I don't know, maybe in this alternate universe, there's different species, different, like have you ever seen Futurama, like that, or, you know, really any kind of sci-fi sort of world where, you know, there are different species, different religions, different, you know, people of all different beliefs, but it looks like in this alternate universe, you're a noble trickster because you regard everybody with equal respect. And that is, yeah, kind of telling me that you're more like a Robin Hood than anything else in this alternate universe, like a Robin Hood type person. So let's try to maybe get some like messages that this alternate you may have for you. Like if they had a message for you, if they could give you a message, let's see what they have to say. Okay, so we have listen. The secrets of the sea become apparent when we listen to the sound within the shells. So I'm seeing that this alternate you, this Robin Hood type person who, you know, went through this really profound life experience to pursue this new sort of nomadic, traveling sort of trickster, Robin Hood, clever sort of magician type person, or minstrel if you could go back in time, who regards everyone with equal respect regardless of their species or religion or whatever beliefs. They're telling you to listen, you know, listen to maybe your inner heart, your deep down subconscious. I don't know why I feel like this really goes together, like this one with this listen. Yeah, listen to your inner spirit, your inner mind, your subconscious. Maybe it's trying to tell you something. Something really profound here, kind of paralleling this experience that the alternate you had in this other universe that led them to this sort of journey, sort of cause. Yeah, very interesting stuff here. So yeah, that's all I have for group 1, the grandfather clock group. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And I just want to remind you again that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me if you want. And the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get straight into group 2, the teapot group. So we have the teapot group here. So let's get straight into the teapot group. So let's start with this red card to see if I could shed some more insight onto who you are in an alternate universe. Oh, just went out of focus. Okay, there we go. So who are you in an alternate universe? So we have, this is a very, not what I was expecting, the Exorcist card, okay? I don't really see this as an exorcist. That doesn't really look like an exorcist to me. Like if you've ever seen the movie The Exorcist, that's not the image that you get. Like the Catholic priest, that's not necessarily the image that you get here. What I'm really getting is like a shaman, like a spiritual shaman type person, who maybe is really in tune with nature, who just really respects nature, really is in tune with the universe, with their own aura, with their own spiritual sort of entity within them. But here I'm seeing the light. Okay, so the light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Oh yeah, so see, you're more of like a healer, like a shaman. I think exorcist is probably the wrong word there. It sounds a little too intense. Shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Okay. Interesting. So you're like a shaman, sort of healer in this alternate universe. So let's see if we can maybe shed a bit more insight here. So we have the stork, we have the letter, and then we have the garden. So I'm getting here that with the stork, you may have possibly decided, your alternate self possibly have decided at one point that you wanted to embark on a journey, possibly leave the life that they had, embark on a new journey. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a quick sip of my tea. Okay, so you wanted to embark on a new journey and then went off to travel or something, to embark on a new adventure, and then I think what happened was that you probably I think this is maybe the point where maybe you began to heal people, and then your alternate self, you became sort of famous as like the spiritualist, healer, shaman type person. I'm seeing that maybe you gain some notoriety, possibly. I mean, if you look at this is prosperity, possibly fame, abundance, really doing well for yourself as this shamanistic spiritualist healer. And I think maybe I'm getting a vibe that maybe you were called upon by your, whatever ruling class is in this alternate universe. Like, I guess here it would be maybe like people, in high places or government authorities of some kind, just, someone who gained a lot of notoriety, a lot of fame for your gifts, your talents, which is, healing, spiritualism. And I think your alternate universe, or your alternate self in this other dimension universe, you became quite wealthy, I think, quite, famous by doing this. Okay, let's try to shed some more insight, if there is any. So we have, I consume only my fair share. Let me try to get the whole card. So I consume only my fair share. So I'm getting that in this alternate universe, the way that you became well-known, famous, trusted by these people in high places in this alternate universe is because they saw that you have a pure heart, like you're not greedy, you only take what you need, going back to the whole like being in tune with nature of this other alternate universe, could be another planet, another galaxy, but you're very in tune with nature there, you're in tune with what's around you, and you don't take more than what you need. You're very altruistic, you're more of a giving, healing, you like to heal other people through your spirituality. Shamanistic sort of, you're a shamanistic sort of healer, but you're giving. It's not about what you can get, it's about what you can give. And it's also, I think, about give and take here. I consume only my fair share. And I think that ultimately is what got you to be this, famous healer, held in high esteem in this alternate universe. People trust you. So let's see if we maybe have some messages here from your alternate universe self. Like if they could give you a message from afar, what could it be? Explore. Maps show what has already been discovered. Go another way. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really interesting because, we were just talking about how, as the stork symbolized that your alternate universe self went on some kind of a journey here, traveled where they've never been, followed their heart or their some kind of spiritual calling of some kind, and gained some notoriety for themselves in this alternate universe, galaxy, planet, whatever it may be. But this is what the message that they would have for you if they could give you a message from afar. So that's actually really interesting reading. But so So that's all I have for group 2, the teapot group. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And I just want to remind you again, teapot group, that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me. And the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So very quickly, I'm going to move on to the third group, the red shoes. So the red shoes group here. So let's see what we have for you guys. So who are you in an alternate universe, planet, galaxy far away, whatever it may be? Let's see what we have. So we have child divine. Okay, so child divine, we have, so positive light attributes, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Okay, so I'm seeing that in this alternate universe, you may be really connected with your inner child, a very pure soul, someone who, like, if you've ever seen Star Wars, Natalie Portman's character, I think she kind of comes to mind. Or if you've ever seen The Fifth Element, like Lilu is her name, with the dreadlocks, she she kind of reminds me of this. You know, she's very childlike. She has this purity, this innocence, and yet, you know, she has this gift. So I guess, yeah, Lilu from The Fifth Element, you might want to look that up. But I'm kind of getting that energy. And you can also be, you know, this can also apply to males. So you could be like a male Lilu as well. But yeah, and she also had sort of an inability. She's very vulnerable. So she had this inability to defend herself against negative forces. Like she was very naive. But once again, I'm sensing that you have some kind of divine gift in this alternate universe. I highly suggest looking up Lilu. Like, she was basically a genius, but had a very childlike mind. She had this really great, like, fighting ability, if you've ever seen. I don't know. I'm giving a little too much detail about The Fifth Element, but it's a great movie, and this is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this card, just being honest here. Okay, let's try to look at some other cards to see if maybe we can shed some more insight on who you are in this alternate universe, far, far away. So we have the house, we have the girl, or someone of a, you know, like a confident sort of person, and then we have the flowers. So what I'm getting here is that you could potentially have, so in this alternate universe, I think that you're quite well respected, you are very loved, you're very taken care of, well taken care of. You might have servants or something, like maybe you are maybe somebody who's held in high esteem, like a wise kind of, I'm even getting almost like Yoda vibes. And then we have, so you're very confident. You might even have a child in this alternate universe. Maybe you even carry on your craft to them, because sometimes things like that, divine gifts like that, can be passed on, in my opinion, sometimes. And then you're living a very beautiful life, very blessed life in this alternate universe as this sort of, almost like, I'm gonna just say all the things that come to mind. I honestly have to say, like, Lilu from The Fifth Element, kind of Natalie Portman's character from Star Wars, and also Yoda. I'm getting a little bit of Yoda, but you know, that sort of like divine, pure soul, almost like childlike, but you have this divine gift that others want, and you also want to share that with the world, and somehow, but I see you almost like passing on this gift to a child in this alternate universe. They may also be blessed with the divine gift, a female child possibly, and also living a very beautiful, blessed life by sharing this gift with others. I think maybe the gift that you're actually sharing is probably like wisdom, or some kind of something that it's like you have this wisdom or this intuition, this almost like this naive purity, but it's like childlike. But at the same time, it's like you're like this really old soul in this alternate universe that has this wisdom, and I think that you will pass it down ultimately to your child. You're living a very cushy life in this alternate universe, very beautiful, blessed life here, and you also give blessings to others, I see, and then they give it back, almost like karma. So let's see if another card. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay, so this is beautiful actually. So I spread joy. This is exactly, oh my god. Okay, sorry, I'm freaking out. This is exactly the vibe of Lilu from the Fifth Element. Not so much Yoda, but I can almost kind of see like, you know, like that divine, pure sort of spirit, soul, wisdom, you know, some kind of divine, intuitive wisdom, but very childlike, very vulnerable, very almost like a baby that has emerged into the light, very naive, very pure but divine, but then you also have all this wisdom, you know, that you want to share with the world. You want to share this light. See this light, this aura of light. It's beautiful. Like, it just really goes well with, you know, this whole child divine sort of thing. I mean, this card could even be labeled child divine, you know, but yeah, I spread joy. So yeah, ultimately, I initially thought maybe you'd be spreading something like wisdom, but some kind of, I think, joy through this wisdom that you have with this sort of purity that you have in this alternate universe. And I think maybe you might be some kind of a divine sage, or maybe you, like you're some kind of a spiritual sort of person, or some kind of maybe guru. Like, that's all another thing when I think of Yoda. But yeah, okay, so let's see if this you in this alternate universe, this person could send you a message, a possible message from far, far away, you know, whether that be in your dreams or what have you. Let's see what they have to say. So we have perseverance. Stay the course. So yeah, I'm seeing that, there's not much to say about that. I mean, if you even now, like, obviously this isn't an alternate universe, this is Earth, and we are living in 2020. But if you feel like sort of a calling, like this sort of intuitive sort of spiritual calling, where you almost have maybe like a lot of dreams, you feel like you have a lot to, like, blessings, like this sort of light that you want to spread to others, and you can't quite pinpoint why. Maybe you shouldn't necessarily be focused on the why. Maybe you should be focused on, like perseverance, like staying the course, like spreading this light, even though it's difficult, even though it may be challenging, and you may have been tempted to veer off course. Well, you know, if you feel this intuitive wisdom, spiritualism, whatever it may be, you know, this sort of Yoda-like wisdom, where you want to spread joy to others, then go ahead and do it, you know, and persevere. Like, don't let anyone throw you off course. Don't let, you know, any kind of darkness sort of cloud your light. Just keep shining on, you know, keep shining on, and spread the joy, stay the course. So yeah, I mean, this was actually really interesting. It all sort of tied together in a really interesting way. But that's all I have for the last group, the Red Shoes group. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And I just want to remind you again that I have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me now. And the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was fun and entertaining and insightful. And I'll see you later. Bye.